Okay, this is going to be a little bit of an instructional video for those of you who would like to use the skip counting videos but may be unfamiliar with what I'm doing, or would like to help your children understand, but you're not sure yourself what I'm doing. So I teach my children to skip count. When I practice these numbers, I started in kindergarten with my youngest, giving him charts that look similar to this. And when we started with the ones, he colored in each number 1 through 15. And then we went down the side of the chart here after he finished coloring, and I let him do patterns using a couple of colors. And then we said one group of 1 is 1. 2 groups of 1 is 2. And we used manipulatives and things like that to illustrate these facts. But then we began to learn how to use sign language to represent these, so that when we sung them, we had a way of showing our number sentences. So when we learned the sign language numbers 1 through 15 and we sung the numbers simultaneously, we were actually illustrating the multiplication sentence. So as we put up one finger and sung 1, we were saying one group of 1 is 1. And we would, every once in a while, I would stop and ask him, okay, what number sentence is this? This is 5 times 1, 5 groups of 1, which is how many? 5. And we would know that because we had just sung 5. Or whatever. In the case of ones, we're not really singing, we're chanting. But I have a chart like this that I just made in Excel for each of the numbers that we skip count by. So here's our 3s, and the hint up here is jingle bells. And again, my son has a meeting book that he uses in math, and these are part of his meeting book. He's now in 1st grade and doing these for the 2nd time through. And so when I got to the 3s, which again, we would use manipulatives to help see groups of 3 and talk about how it's faster to count if we don't have to count each one individually. We would count each one individually until I felt like, that as long as that's necessary. And then begin. But they do not have to understand the skip counting before they can begin memorizing the songs. I've also got a just turned 4-year-old, and he is also enjoying singing parts of the songs, and that doesn't have to confuse them by counting by ones, by hearing the skip counting as well. As when we count items individually, we count by ones, and he can just listen to the songs until he's ready to start skip counting. But again, here he would, my 7-year-old would use the chart and color in every 3rd number. So I would teach him to go whisper count 1, 2, 3, and you'd almost hear that pattern in your, you would hear that pattern in your voice as you whisper count every 3rd number. You want to try and keep up with the rhythm so that you can hear it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and he would color in each of these. And once they're colored in, like in the videos where I've got them colored in for the purpose of teaching, just kind of doing the memory work, then you would take your pencil and fill in what's 1, 3, and you'd see how many, the first one that you colored would be 1, 3, and you go on down until you had colored in 15 of them, and that would be 15 3s, or 15 groups of 3, and you would fill that in down here in this part of the chart. And again, as you skip count using your sign language, as you sing it, each finger or each new number that you speak in sign language, up to 15, would represent a group of 3. So 15 groups of 3 is 45. And so this is, really for the teachers to help you get ideas on how you might help your kids to understand what they're doing as they're skip counting. It's going to benefit them even if they don't know what they're doing and they just hear the songs. They're still getting something. They can still get something out of it. But of course, it's kind of nice when your kindergartners and first graders are already starting to understand multiplication and really be able to answer those questions and see it, even on their hands. It also gives them something to do as they're doing their singing. And I am using American Sign Language for the sign language, which gives a little bit of a foreign language there. So anyway, I hope that helps, and let me know in the comments if you have any questions.